On today's show, we wind the clock back to 2008 and head to Sydney Dragway in Western Sydney. We look back on the nitro burning warfare from the ANDRA USA Top Fuel Showdown. It's the ultimate grudge match between Australia's finest Top Fuel titans against the might of the United States. Then we fast forward to 2010 and head north to Redcliffe in northeastern Brisbane, where we look back on the action from the fourth round of the Australian Offshore Superboat Championship. This is Speedweek.
Hi everybody, welcome to ANDRA Championship Drag Racing. My name's Dean Neal, and how about this for an event? We've got USA Top Fuel, and joining us today is American racer Hilary Will. Hilary, welcome to Sydney. Looking over the car here, you must be pumped to be here to go racing.
I'm so excited to be here in Australia. I've always wanted to come to this country, never been. I flew in 2 days ago and everybody's been so nice. This track here at Western Sydney is great. It's awesome, and I was out looking. I know there's a lot of fans here already, and racing isn't even getting started for another couple of hours, so it's going to be really exciting.
Describe, I guess, to our lady viewers as much as anyone, to everyone, I guess, what does it feel like to go so hard in a race car like that? Can you describe it?
You know, I'm just doing what I love. When I get in that car, there's no other place in the world I'd rather be. And people look at me all the time and say, how can you drive that? But it just goes to show, just because you don't have a certain look or certain demeanor or attitude doesn't mean you can't do something.
You're talking about performance. You're accredited officially as the world's fastest woman. What is the top end speed in mile an hour that you've achieved in a nitro burning Top Fuel dragster?
We went 334.65 miles an hour.
Scott Collitta, you know, it's a memorial race. You're racing for the memorial trophy. I know the pressure's on, and it must mean a lot to you to race for that trophy and hopefully win it too.
I feel like it's just meant to be for us to go out here and run well this weekend and bring home the trophy for Collitta Motorsports.
Sure, Hilary Will's looking forward to taking that trophy, but another man that's pumped up. He was awesome at the Perth round of ANDRA Top Fuel, and that's Phil Lamartina, and Chad's over with him.
It's good to be here at Western Sydney at the Fuchs Presents Shannon's Top Fuel round here. Obviously it's very exciting that we're leading the points after the Perth round, but you know, there's a long way to go, so we've still got a lot of hard work to do. It's going to be tricky, don't get me wrong. You know, we've got Jimmo over here with Hilary, so you know, it's very exciting. Obviously we'd like to see what they can do. Obviously they're going to be the yardstick for this weekend. You know, if we can try and, you know, just do our thing, you know, we should be pretty right.
You're chomping at the bit taking on Hilary Will?
Yeah, well, you know, thinking about it on the drive up this morning, you know, it's like, it's going to be pretty cool to sort of go up against an NHRA driver.
Well, Phil Lamartina and the Fuchs team are really excited. I know one lady who's going to be excited. Dean Neal, who seems to be the ladies' man today, is catching up with her right now.
A welcome returner to ANDRA Championship Drag Racing in Top Fuel is Amanda Shepherd. Amanda, I wonder why you're here. Might be doing something with another lady racer, possibly.
Possibly, I think so. It's been 6 months since my last run, but now that Hilary Will's out, I think we're going to have to show her how it's really done here in Australia.
I'm sure you can't wait to line up against her on the start line.
You've got that right, Dean. She is a genuinely nice person and she's fantastic to talk with, and I can't wait to race her. I mean, over in the States, she's awesome. Dad and I sit and watch her all the time, and to think that now she's out here competing against Australia's best is an honour. It really is an honour, and I'm extremely excited.
What about the rest of the season? Will we see you back in the car, or will Bob slot back in at the Summer Nationals? What's the plan there?
Of course, Dad is still trying to get the two-car team happening, and he's still arranging that, so fingers crossed that eventually comes up, because that's just our dream. Dad's dream, my dream, that's it. That's all we want to do in drag racing, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we know ANDRA Top Fuel has come to Western Sydney when we see this man at the racetrack, Terry Sainty in the Skips Fire Service Top Fueler. Happy to be racing again, mate.
Yeah, it's fantastic to be here today in front of all the fans, and the weather's great. And I'll say welcome to Hilary from America, all the way from America, and a good crew. And yeah, no, it's great.
It's been a while since you had a pedal, probably since September at the Nationals. So everything still feel okay?
Yeah, we've been out here. We did some testing on Friday and on Sunday, just doing hard launches, getting the car off the start, trying to get 8 cylinders alight. and yeah, it looks promising.
All positive notes then?
Yeah.
Get some good data?
Yeah, no, it's we did 890, 60 foot, and we had the same motor for all 4 runs, and yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Now, this weekend's going to be tough. So many big names coming from not around Australia, but around the world with Hillary Will.
Yeah.
What's the secret to going rounds here?
Well, first of all, we've got to qualify and then go from there.
Well, it's certainly great to have Amanda Shepherd, Chad, back at ANDRA Championship Drag Racing for Top Fuel, but it's also fantastic to have Jim Oberhofer here from the United States. He's the crew chief for the Clitter Motorsports team. Jim, welcome back to Australia. Enjoying the warm weather?
Oh yeah, where I'm from, it's very cold and a lot of snow on the ground, so it's good to be here in the nice weather.
What about this weekend? We all know it means a lot to you. The Scott Collida Memorial Trophy up for grabs for this round of ANDRA Drag Racing. How important is it for you to win this?
Probably right now, it's probably one of the most important things I've done in my life, with the exception of marry my wife and be there for my daughter being born. I mean, this is, you know, Scott was like a brother to me, and we certainly enjoyed ourselves when we came down here. And
I remember interviewing Scott when he came out here, that it was fun for you guys, that you put on a good show for the fans, but I see a lift of intensity. There's a lot of gear here. You are taking this seriously. Tell us some of the components you've got here for this event.
well, what we brought over was the car that Hillary drove this year and all the parts and equipment. We're hoping to make 6 runs here, and we wanted to make sure that when we came over here that we had every amount of ammunition that we could possibly have, because you can't just come here and just think that you're going to mow over these people, you know, because they're tough.
We always knew the Top Fuel action will be hot, but the conditions are very hot for Auto 1 Top Fuel qualifying as Fuchs presents the Shannon's USA Top Fuel Showdown. These cars battling for the Scott Collida Memorial Trophy. Chad Nailon joining me in commentary. Obviously, these qualifying sessions are very important for this field.
Well, we do have 9 cars here this weekend, Dean, as we've seen Amanda go up in smoke along with the Bellevue car. Neither of the two are going to get down in this first round of qualifying.
687 there for the Bellevue.com.au entry. A lot of people talking about the track being particularly greasy around the transition. For people that don't know, a drag strip like Western Sydney Dragway, Chad, has a concrete section, and then at half track it transitions into a asphalt section.
Well, nearly getting down the racetrack there's Mariani, but it all goes to hell at the end there. 5:51 for him on that occasion. Actually leaves him #1 qualifier, but It won't be for very long. Dobbo comes out now for Santo's team, the Uplift Cranes entry. And, of course, Garen Morgan.
Yeah, the Rocket Industries machine, side by side, 2 very... Oh, big problem here for Morgan. He's lost the rear tyre and smashes into the side retaining wall. That is a frightening wreck.
That is a huge crash for the Rocket Industries tracks. To the right side of the car has absolutely taken a huge hit, snapped in half. How lucky was Alan Dobson that he went up in tyre smoke early on. We hope that Morgan is A-OK. The emergency service is fast to it, Dean.
Yeah, look, they do a terrific job taking a look at the Harley-Davidson replays. You touched on Uplift Crane's entry. Very lucky to shut off early. A tyre goes flying. An enormous wreck, but word through that Darren Morgan is okay as we take a look at the onboard here. Look at this.
Wow, that is a big hit.
That is frightening.
And then the good news is, well, you can see him moving around inside the car now. You can see already on the brakes, even though the car is virtually upside down. Out of the car.
I like the Rocket Industries hat already on the head for Darren Morgan. Always thinking of loving up Graham Cowan, of course, but the most important thing is A-OK.
Well, it's a scary moment. Hillary Will out in the next lane. Well, what a thing to do for her to see here in Australia. First time in Australia, she's a fuel car spear the wall right in front of her. She was actually the first car out after Corey Mack's big accident in the States as well, so she's no stranger to that situation.
Jim Oberhofer on screen, the chief tuner. Let's see if these two can get down the track. Hillary Will looking pretty stout there.
Planned shut-off, I'd say there, Dean.
A low 5-seconder, so that's an encouraging start for the KB Racing entry. Trouble for the Australian champ, Phil Reid, for Auto 1 in that qualifying tilt.
So the track's still causing issues. Still the first round there. Lematina, goes up in smoke as we now move forward to the second round and back on track with Stamatis and Sainty.
Both cars starting to make some progress. An early shut-off, in fact, toss of the belt for Stamatis. That's the first 4-seconder we've seen so far for the Bellevue.com.au entry. This is Auto 1 qualifying, Session 2.
Well, that was Sainty's quickest so far, 5.19 and a 492. Is about as quick as we're going to get in these conditions. Full flames, Lamatina and Dobbo up in smoke.
In fact, both cars shutting off before the transition there. The track temperature in excess at times today, or encroaching on 160 degrees Fahrenheit. That is damn hot. You're talking more than 60 degrees Celsius. And more troubles for Phil Reed.
Well, he's got one more bite of the cherry. The good news is for the teams, now that Morgan is out, we've got the field set. I suppose that's the only good news we can get out of that, as Hillary Will's back on track. How about there's two girls going out of here? We've got Shepherd and Will.
The Skips Fire Service entry, and Hillary Will again an early shut-off, runs a 5:29. That car hazing slightly midpoint of the run. So these Top Fuel cars really struggling with the hot conditions. Now we move to Auto 1 qualifying session 3. Two quick Jim Reed racing cars.
Both lose the belts at about 3:30. Have a look at this. Phil Reed has qualified as his quickest lap, and it's a 6:44. So that's the quickest lap he's managed to get out of qualifying, and it's a 6:44 for Phil Reed. Haven't seen that in a long time. Dobbo, thumbs up. He's happy, the rock star. Can he get down?
He's had a big night, or big day, should I say, seeing Darren Morgan's problems. Both cars having struggles. Look at the uplift cranes injector had dangling all over the show, Chad.
Okay, well, Jim O, can he get this race car down? Can anyone get down at this time of night? Well, it's the coolest we've seen the conditions at the moment. Lamartina has been #1 qualifier at the last event in Perth. Can they do it?
He was awesome in Perth. Talking about the Fuchs rocket ship. Oh, side by side.
Lamartina's on it.
He's #1 qualifier.
477, 306 mile an hour goes to #1, Dean.
Yeah, looking at your Auto 1 qualifying summary, Phil Lamartina on that blast goes to the top of the order. Martin Stamatis in 2, Hillary Will in 3, then Terry Sadie, Alan Dobson, Mark Mariani, Amanda Shepherd and Phil Reed. But it's fair to say, non-representative numbers yet.
Well, it's time for a very special Rare Spares pit report right now as we ride on board with Darren Morgan, and it's unbelievable to think that he's right here, right now with us. And Darren, that was a fairly terrifying accident, mate. It's unbelievable that we're standing here looking at the onboard footage and reliving it.
Oh yeah, but it just proves how safe the sport is, doesn't it? Like, well over 100 mile an hour, banging the wall, and we're out here. If we had a spare car, we'd be back out there again tomorrow. So we got one at home, and we're not tooled up enough, or haven't got the budget to have it in the trailer with us, but we needed a sponsor before, now we really need one.
As bad as the crash did look, the car did pretty much what it's designed to do in breaking apart like that.
Well, ANDRA's got the stringent rules, as America has. It's a really late model car. I think it's got 2 entries in the logbook since brand new, so it's a bit sad. But we're all right, we're here, and it's tin and paint, so we'll be back out again.
Just talk us through the crash itself, mate.
I thought it started to shake the tyres a little bit. It was obvious to the wheel coming off. I was just thinking about getting out of it when there was no point.
And obviously you must have been thinking about Dobbo in the other lane.
Yeah, I could hear him. He must have smoked the tyres early, because I could hear the car running down like it wasn't revving up through there. So at least he was on the brakes.
The amazing thing that we see on the onboard footage is you were still steering that car upside down, trying to get on the brakes, do whatever you could.
Well, I'm not going to bang the wall for free. I've got to fight for it a little bit. It's nice to see. It's nothing the boys have done, or nothing nobody's done. The car had a tech inspection, I don't know how many months ago now, 2 or 3 months ago, and everything on it was perfect. It was just one of those things.
Obviously you'll be moving back to the old car, or will you be firing up a new one?
I spoke to Cole before about it. We might bring out the sister car, so we'll be testing another brand new car, which is a real shame, and we'll miss out on the points for this rounders too. So that's and the money for the rounds, which will really hurt us because we're a low budget deal.
Are you going to have any butterflies hopping back in the seat?
I don't think so. I'm worried about my missus, of course, because she was a bit distraught about it all, but if I can calm her down enough, we'll come and play.
All right, well, it is fabulous to see you standing upright and very healthy, mate. It was a bad accident, but we're still here, aren't we?
We're still here, and the guys done as good as they can do. The car was prepared as well as any car in the country or in America as well, so I'm just proud of all them.
Mark Mariani, the game's on this weekend in Top Fuel, isn't it?
Oh, you betcha. This is great. I'm just really happy to be here. Since last time we've been out, CNO's put a lot of time and effort and allowed our team to do the same into this car.
You're looking smiling, you're looking confident. Are you indeed that to achieve some good results here this weekend?
Yeah, definitely. Like I was saying, we've slowly been progressing with this car, and I'm feeling a lot more confident every time we bring it out. So this time I think we're pretty sure we'll get some 4-second passes out of it, and we'll nibble away at it from there.
Talk us through your Top Fuel career. It's sort of been a bit of a roller coaster ride. Personally for you, it must be tough, and you don't get a lot of opportunities to test and get data. So how do you get your head around that, Mark?
Just getting back into it and try and get into that frame of mind where, okay, I'm nice and confident with the car and confident with my crew. I think that helps a hell of a lot. having a good base of boys behind me and having Sano there looking after it. He's been non-stop on this car with us. I think he's wanting to get up there and see what we can do against the black car, actually. Yeah.
Well, it just would not be a nitro meeting without Rockstar Dobson. He's back for all over crane hire. And mate, after qualifying, you're in the number 5 spot. You've drawn Terry Saney in the first round. What are your thoughts?
Number 5 is not always a bad position to be in. So Terry's only been about 100th of a second off us, so we're going to have a really good race, and the meeting should turn out good.
Now, of course, Darren seems to be the tragic story of this round, but go back to round 3 in Perth. It was you who had the sorry case. Didn't even get to really attend that first round. Couldn't stop it after the burnout. You must have been really disappointed. Now to move forward from that? I had to sort of try and keep my chin up over there too. That just shows you how sensitive the sport is. You know, you can go from sort of being really on the high pedestal to sort of all of a sudden it's like going to the casino. The cards lay the way they lay, and that's just how it turns out. So it was sort of a little bit of a lesson building for everybody, the spectators, my family and friends, and on how sensitive our sport really is.
Tighten up those safety belts, because after the break we've got more qualifying action from ANDRA Top Alcohol. Joining Top Fuel at this event, of course, for the Scott Clitter Memorial is Top Alcohol, and it'll be a tough field here in Sydney, no question to that. Rick Gorsey's a newcomer in the category. Rick, the funny car, how did it come about?
Had the Outlaws car, had a sedan, HQ Holden, and just wanted to go faster. Something stupid, I think, but it's working out all right so far.
What about this weekend? It's a good opportunity for you, with the numbers slightly down at this event for Top Alcohol, that you can get some laps out there and you know you're going to make the field, so it's going to be a productive weekend for you probably.
Exactly. We come out and tested a car last Sunday, had 7 laps in the car so far. We got down to a 6.0 on Sunday, one pass, done a 6.0, then the wind came and shut down the day, put on the trailer, so we've got a tune now to sort of go in straight into the fires, we're hoping.
Yes, Dean, we're pitted right next to Rick Gorsey, as driver of the JBS Tools Top Alcohol Dragster. He's joining me right now, and there are a few people in the sport who enjoy it as much as this guy. Wayne Newby, mate, you've drawn a massive first round matchup with Aaron Hambridge. How are you going to take that one on?
It should be good. Aaron's a good racer. He's got a good car and that. We've had a few issues all weekend, but we've had to swap motors. So gone a good old faithful one back in, so hopefully we'll go well.
You guys met an absolute thriller at the Winter Nationals. You guys have been touching up all sorts of records. Can we expect anything like that today, or the conditions probably not there?
The conditions really aren't there for it today. Probably not for us on this first run. We'd have to try and get a handle of the motor a little bit, but I'm sure we can get there by the end of the day.
Steve Reed, always a tough customer. Despite the slight reduction in numbers here this weekend, Stephen, I know you'd agree that it's still going to be tough out there.
Oh yeah, it's really going to be tough. The heat's going to really make it hard for everybody, but hopefully we can get a good run down the track and set the pace for everybody else and see what happens after that.
Describe what happens, Steve. Obviously with hot conditions there's always a chance of having to pedal the car. Describe, 1, how do you do that well? 2, how does it feel in the car? It doesn't sound fun to me.
No, if it shakes the tyres, you've got to give it a quick pedal. It settles the car. Most times it'll settle the car, and but sometimes I just play it by ear. Sometimes I'll short shift it if it shakes, and sometimes I'll pedal it. It's just whatever I feel like at the time, whatever my first reaction is.
Checking out ANDRA Top Alcohol, thanks to Auto One, getting you into the right gear. And these two cars looking to kick off Auto One qualifying in fine style. Gary Phillips and Wayne Newby, 2 bitter rivals, but respected rivals, it's fair to say.
Noobs, of course, sticking with the drags for these days, and it's going to be the funny car, the Lucas Oil's funny car, who gets down the racetrack this time, Dean.
584, that's a good off-the-trailer number for the Lucas Oil Products funny car. Rick Gorsey for City Finance and Aaron Hambridge for Faber Australia. Now, this is Auto One qualifying, so trying to sort out a nice position, border on tyre shake for the funny car. Early deployment of the chute for Hambridge.
So a 6.1 second lap for this time out for Gorsey, the couple locals at the track, as we have a couple of Queenslanders now coming on.
Yes, and this team has been very strong. Talking about both Stephen and Debbie Reid, the Reid Transport entry. Support from Premier One and Swafega and New Line Oils. And again, a hit, almost that UBS hint of shake there for Debbie Reid for a moment. Early click off, but a very strong run for Steve Reid, 5.76, and Debbie not too slouchy either. Chad with a 5.80.
So they'll be happy with that. Again, these two are sending themselves down the first round of qualifying nicely. There's Deb on track right now, and the Lucas Oil's product 20 car back out.
Yeah, this is Auto 1 qualifying session 2, and this is a better run this time for both cars. That's a cracker, but a good run for Gary Phillips. He goes to number 1 with a 5.61.
253 mile an hour as well. So
wow.
That's up there. Very quick. Rick Gorsey for City Finance back on track. The pressure's really off, I suppose, since there is only the 6 entries here this weekend. No one's going to be getting bumped out of the field. Hambridge with Shake. That's off early. Both of them are out of this one early. The track playing havoc.
Picking up with Auto 1 qualifying session 3. This is the final hit for this tough field of ANDRA Top Alcohol to have at this Western Sydney Dragway track. It's fair to say, though, Chad, they're making a better fist of it than the Top Fuel cars at the moment.
I'll tell you what, Hambridge is making a pretty good fist of it right now. He gets down with a 5.66 at 2.45 mile an hour. A good run for Hambridge.
I didn't like the look of the supercharger, though, in the finish line area for the Faber Australia APM entry. Hopefully everything's A-OK there. As we move on to another tough customer, and Shake, rattle and roll, newbie.
He fought through it. He always manages to get through it. 5.98 too.
Auto 1 qualifying summary, that was spectacular. Gary Phillips on the top of the heat with a 5.61. Hambridge strong in the dragster in 2. Stephen Reid, Debbie Reid, Wayne Newby, and Rick Gorsey for City Finance rounding out the 6. Unfortunately, like 12 months ago, this International Top Fuel event was badly affected by weather. We had cricket ball-sized hail, and guess what? We are on a rain day. We've been delayed due to storms in the area of Sydney, but these cars will still have at this racetrack. They want to win the Scott Collida Memorial Trophy as Fuchs presents the Shannon's USA Top Fuel Showdown. And eliminations, Chad, starts right here, right now, with Martin Stamatis and Amanda Shepherd.
The great thing about having bad track conditions, I suppose, is the racing is unpredictable as ever. Here's the billview.com.au car of Martin Stamatis as we go over him on the jib crane. Looking good.
He's looking very, very good, but certainly applying this horsepower for both cars, including for Skip's Fire Service Amanda Shepherd. Great to see it back in the car. It was all about an opportunity to race against Hillary Will, and she did that in qualifying, so she felt like she's already won this weekend.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, as Matt, her brother, guides her into pre-stage, she'll be wanting to face her in eliminations now. She's a very hungry race driver. These two met a couple times last year, split the winnings, one apiece. They always seem to produce good racing.
Whoa! It's a pedal fest. The Shepherd's in front, but not anymore. She's lost power, and Stamatis wins it in a classic. Who cares about the times? It's about the race.
That was one of the best. Harley Davidson replay, a spray of fuel, so maybe a fuel line or something's come loose. You can see it go. And Stamatis comes through for the win.
Amazing stuff. We look at the deep end here, and look at the attitude for Stamatis. Raw fuel everywhere all over this racetrack. Thankfully, that'll evaporate quickly, but that's a cracking race.
Well, I mean, that's the best ANDRA Top Fuel race we've seen in a long time. Sideways action over 100 mile per hour. Both cars having a shot at the lead as we see Hillary Will come out now from the USA.
And Mark Mariani also for Sano Rapisado. And we saw this problem for Dobson in Perth, Chad. It looks like history is repeated this time in the red car.
You can hear the idles up. That thing is not going to stop. He's going to have to drive this on through.
Well, we've seen this on several occasions with ANDRA Top Fuel cars. If they cannot get that RPM down after the burnout procedure, that's why they have the little restrictor plate. They can't hit reverse. And that's what's happened there. He's got a freshly loaded 8,000 horsepower Top Fuel dragster, but he can't back the thing up, so he's out and he is shattered.
He will be really disappointed with that. He would have been looking forward to another matchup against the Yanks. He took on Mike Dunn last year and lost, and now he's going out to Hillary Will. And the Collida Motorsport team will get a free run through the semis.
Well, this will be interesting, Chad, because we saw Hillary Will make a very strong 1,000-foot pass in the first qualifying session, but has struggled since. And instant tyre smoke. And I don't know how you draw any data or any correlation out of that when you go up on smoke on the hit on the step. That is tough break, and that is hard luck for Jim Oberhofer and Hillary Will.
Yeah, they'll still be scratching there. 13.3 is not the kind of times that Hillary came here to run.
But to put that in context, we see Mariani, he is shattered after seeing those numbers. He knows he had a chance of winning that, but 13.3 is what a HSV Malou would run down the track, and we've just seen an instant shut-off in a Top Fuel Drags to run the same numbers.
She had that thing off before she even got to the Christmas tree, and she still ran to 13. When you look at it that way, it's impressive.
Amazing.
Now, Dubbo and the Sainty team come on out now for Skip's Fire Service also, and the Uplift Cranes entry has had a very up and down year.
Up and down, explosive. At one stage, heading into the Perth round of ANDRA Top Fuel Championship drag racing, he was leading that championship. Of course, had a very good event at Wellerbank for the spring event, round 2 of the championship. I've got to say, though, Sano and the team and Alan Dobson, and I know you'd agree, mate, obviously have always been very, very threatening at Western Sydney Dragway, but these conditions are tricky, and really, Terry Saney likes his chances with the way the track temp is and the track conditions are at the moment.
Well, that's what the beauty about this is. It's unpredictable drag racing at the best of times. Throw in the track conditions and it gets really out of control. So we'll have to see who can stay on the gas the longest. That's pretty much what it's going to come down to.
Just waiting for these two cars to bump in here. Well, Dobson having troubles. Raw fuel out of multiple cylinders for Terry Saney. But Chad, that might have helped his cause in the win.
I tell you what, running on 6 right now is probably a good thing. It flicked the belt off as it went across, but that's a win as we see number 1 and 2 in the ANDRA Top Fuel points come on out.
Just look at that stout, strong burnout for the Fuchs Lubricants car. He has got the ET and speed points at the moment. There are bonus points allocated in the ANDRA Championship chase if you can cream the big numbers. And so far, Lamartine has earned that badge. He has done very well in qualifying, moving to the top of the heap.
Well, these two just keep finding themselves. They found each other in the final back in Perth a month ago, or not even a month ago now, and I tell you what, it's shaping up to be one of the rivalries of ANDRA Championship drag racing at the moment. I'm loving it.
Yes, Phil Reid for Auto 1. Who would have thought he was on the hot seat? The bump spot. It's fair to say if Darren Morgan was able to race last night, he could have missed the cut, if you can believe it. The 3-time champ. Amazing.
Another interesting point, Phil Reid is yet to put a 4-second lap down. If he doesn't lay one down here, it'll be the first time that's happened since Perth round last season. He's been on a good spell.
Good stats there from Chad Naylor. Bruce Reid making the final tweaks and adjustments. He was scratching his head in the truck with Jim Oberhofer. Two of the best Top Fuel tuners in the world scratching. Reid leads it, but a surge from Lamartine. That is big for the championship right there. 5:25. He's put Phil Reid, the Aussie champ, away.
On board with him now, Harley Davidson replay. Phil Reid out there, has to get out of it. It didn't want to go through to the finish. Lamartine screams past, well and truly over 100 kilometres an hour faster for the win. Semi-final matchups right now. Sainty for Skip's Fire Service up against Lamartine for Fuchs. That'll be a beauty. And moving on around the corner, Martin Stamatis for Billview.com.au will take on Miss Hillary Will from the NHRA herself.
Welcome to Rare Spares Pit Report time, and how about the Aussie car? Terry Saney doing very, very well in Top Fuel in these tricky conditions. Well done, mate. The Skip's Fire Service team must be pumped.
Yeah, we're wrapped to squeeze by that one, and obviously the conditions didn't suit the other cars, and we had a problem, but we squeezed by, so we'll take it.
We're catching up with Hillary Will all the way from the USA. Lucked out in that first round. She admitted it herself. Tell us about that one, Hillary.
Yes, we definitely got lucky. I did the burnout, and then he went by, and I was like, wow, he's going awfully fast for a burnout. And then unfortunately, he had to keep going. You never like to have the single like that. You want to race. So it's unfortunate for them. I backed up, and then when it was time to go, and I just was going to go down the track like a normal race, pretending like I was in a normal race. And I hit the throttle, and it didn't really go anywhere, just spun. So it was good. We can take the data and fix it for next round.
Time to crank some more ANDRA Championship drag racing action at a professional level. This is ANDRA Top Alcohol on track right now, and this is Carrie Phillips, a beautiful burnout in a Lucas Oil Products funny car. Of course, we're at Western Sydney Dragway. For more information, the Summer Nationals coming up. Check out the website, wsid.com.au. Rick Gorsey, great to see him in the game for the first time for City Finance.
up against our #1 qualifier in Gary Phillips, running that beautiful Lucas Oil's Products Monte Carlo funny car. Now, there's two good things about this race. One, it's #1 versus #6. Now, I think they'd make it a mismatch, but I tell you what, if you win this race, you're straight through to the final because we've only got 6 people here this weekend, so all to play for.
Yeah, big stakes here. If you win this, doesn't matter whether you're 1 or 6, you get the easy travel through to the final. So this is a monster matchup. And this is going to be tough for Rick Gorsey. You'd have to think on paper, Gary Phillips has reached a consistent vein of imposing form in the Lucas Oil Products entry.
That's really accurate. This thing has just been throwing down some good numbers. It was into the 5.6s, over 250 mile an hour in qualifying. They figured out this race car. It's only a matter of time before he starts turning it into wins. Up come the revs.
Trouble for Gary Phillips. He was smashed at the tree. He'd be filthy about that thanks to NZ. Much better reaction time for Rick Gorsey. He gets there first anyway.
Yeah, well, that's the quickest pass he's laid down this weekend. Up in smoke goes Gary Phillips. Well, I tell you what, it seems to be that Sainty and the other cars that we wouldn't predict were going to win this weekend have been doing excellently in these conditions.
Certainly have. Wayne Newby for JBS Industrial Quality Tools and Aaron Haybridge for Faber Australia. And of course, Advanced Performance Machinery. Great to see this car out. An ex-American O'Bannon dragster. And if you know anything about the O'Bannon team, they've moved to alcohol funny car in the NHRA. They build beautiful race cars.
And this is another dream matchup, actually. A couple of local guys from around here racing their top alcohol dragsters. And, well, they both were turning in some good laps last season. Had an excellent semi-final, I think it was, at the Winter Nationals. Hambridge got the best of the newbie dragster on that occasion.
Yeah, certainly beautiful shots on screen. A likeable guy too. Hambridge helps out a lot of the teams in their engine preparations and certainly knows how to crank maximum horsepower out of that dragster combo. The car is only a season or 2 old now. Of course, campaigned an earlier rail combination before that, an Top Fuel car, and was very, very promising in that, but has certainly stepped up the potential in this beautiful car now.
Well, you'd have to assume that these cars aren't going to go very straight, and you'd have to assume that those conditions are going to help Newby out. He can drive, and he's got a lot more experience in these cars.
What was that? Goodness me!
He takes the win, and he gets down with another 5.
Hey, Chad, I've got a headache watching Haybridge up here with that tyre shake. That was insane.
How he held onto it, you'll see him left of screen in the Harley-Davidson replay, just about clipped the centre line. Newby takes the win, but he will have a headache for a number of weeks after that. That was awful tyre shake.
Yeah, vicious stuff as we move on now to our next matchup. And, well, they've drawn a bad luck deal here because they've been the 2 formed cars in recent rounds of ANDRA Top Alcohol. Talking about the Reed Transport duo, Debbie Reed and Stephen Reed.
Well, they qualified mid-pack, and the punishment is they've got to take each other on. Now, Steve Reed effectively comes in this weekend in his funny car, the series leader, since he'll take the winning points from the last round in spring. Now, that sets up an interesting battle with his wife, Deb. Does she want to take out the hubby and affect the championship? Well, we'll see.
Well, I think they've both liked their chances this year. That's the bottom line. They've both been in very, very good form. I mean, Daniel Reed, who's got credentials in terms of engine tune-up with V8 supercar teams. So certainly the engine packages for both cars have been fantastic, and they've got the tune-ups, they've got the clutch application right. They're putting rivals away, and that's what it takes, doesn't it, to win a championship?
So we just saw Wayne Newby get down in a Top Alcohol dragster as we closed the lid on the funny car for Stephen Reed. And, well...
Would you like to be in that driver's seat?
I wouldn't drive a Top Alcohol funny car. I'll drive a Top Alcohol dragster, but there's something about sitting behind these engines that spooks me.
Your view is restricted. We'll have to do a piece to camera at some stage on that. You really cannot describe how hard it is to see around that big injector head in front of these guys' faces.
So husbands versus wife.
Who's it going to be? It's going to be tight. It is tight. It's a cracker. What a drag racer. Debbie Reed. That was the best side-by-side in round 1 of Top Alcohol. It's the only bugger is that Stephen Reed's on the trailer.
Unbelievable. Deb knocks out the hubby in the first round. Not only the hubby, but the series points leader. Sets up some cracking semi-finals. Debbie Reed for Reed Transport will take on Wayne Newby for JBS Tools. Hold on to your hats. Top Alcohol dragsters going at it side by side. And around the other corner, Rick Gorsey takes the free walk through to the final.
Breathe in, breathe out. Don't go anywhere. We've got more awesome ANDRA Championship drag racing after the break. some other Snap-on Tools tech talk, and once again we've got Bruce Reid as always from Jim Reid Racing. Bruce, tell us about this week's Snap-on Tools product.
Dean, Snap-on have got this fabulous 3/8 air ratchet, but it's a right angle, and it fits in a confined space, particularly down the front of our engines where we have to get in it on a right angle. They're really good.
We're down to the final four in Nitro as Fuchs presents the Shannon's Insurance for motoring enthusiasts Top Fuel Showdown here at Western Sydney Dragway. And of course, these guys are racing. There's an emotional undertone. Scott Coletta, who kicked some serious butt here at Western Sydney, running the quickest one-off pass we've ever seen in the country, 4.517 at 333 miles an hour. 332, thanks for the correction, chap. But at the end of the day, it was awesome. Unfortunately, he tragically lost his life, and these teams are racing in honour of a great man in drag racing.
I tell you what, those numbers of 4.51 seem light years away at the moment with these track conditions. And I tell you what, these teams won't be thinking about those numbers right now. They've all got Scott in their minds and in their hearts, but they just want to get through to the final. And to do that, you've got to win this very race that you're looking at right now. Phil Lamartina for Fuchs, taking on Terry Sadie for Skip's Fire Service. Should be a good one.
Yeah, the interesting thing talking to the Americans too, they chuckle at the Australians' fanaticism for the time slip. They said in America, yeah, the time slip's nice, but it's all about the racing. It's who gets there first. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And who's going to get there first in this matchup? It's tough. Sainty has been consistent this weekend for Skip's Fire Service against the Fuchs Lubricants beast. Raw fuel pouring out of both sides in the Fuchs machine, and against Sainty dropping 2 cylinders on the left bank has resulted in a win.
Maybe you should just run this thing a big 6-cylinder. On board with Lamartina right now. I can see it's starting to shed bits out of the front. Could be bits of blow belt, could be bits of anything really. Sainty goes through for the win. And I tell you what, he's through to the final. He's been here before, Dean.
Back to the scene of the crime and the time, I guess, for Sainty. 2 seasons ago, running these sort of numbers and this sort of consistency on a very hot racetrack. Martin Stamatis on screen now for billview.com.au. That is online telecommunications bill management. Of course, in these financial times, it's good. If you're a major corporation, want to look at your telecommunication bills, check out billview.com.au. They can help you get back on track. As Hillary Will out there for KB Racing, of course, Jim Oberhofer and the Coletta Motorsport team want to win that Coletta trophy.
Oh, they're hungry for it. You can see it in their eyes. You can see it in Jim O, and you can hear it in his voice. They really want to go to the final here. And, well, the last of the Jim Reid Racing cars on track this weekend, the Billview car for Stamatis. If he doesn't go through to the final here right now, it'll be the first time we've missed a Jim Reid Racing car final in a long time.
I was going to say, riddle me that, Chad. When was the last time we saw no Jim Reid Racing cars in a final? If Hillary's able to put him away, and you've just said a long time.
Nitro Champs 07, as a matter of fact. So you've got to go back a long time, and that was the Spirit of Las Vegas Steve Reid car against Dobbo. If they don't make a final here, it will be the first time since the Perth round a year ago. So a hell of a lot on the stake here, a hell of a lot on the line for the Jim Reid Racing team. But I tell you what, they're up against the best in Hillary.
Yet again, a representative pass, though. The KB Racing team sits well. That first 1,000-foot click-off. Can they produce it? Hillary Will's bumping in. We're waiting. Pedal job. We've got another pedal first. Hillary Will, what a great recovery. And she smashed it in relation to the NZ reaction time.
I tell you what, if the NZ reaction times had been the other way around, Stamatis could have actually taken the win. On board with Hillary, you can see how violent it is, Harley Davidson replay. But NZ reaction time speaking, he gave her 2/10 on the start line. And, well, it was uphill battle from there. A good drive job from Hillary to win on, or to hold on to this one. Up in smoke early, Dean.
Yeah, up twice, captured it, regathered it twice, blower belt flies off. But she's done enough to take the win. She's through to the final, one step away.
Yeah, Terry Sadie for Skip's Fire Service will take on Hillary Will with the Coletta Motorsport team, who will win the Scott Coletta Memorial Trophy.
SPSP report time, and I see a man here looking very, very sharply at the data, finding a way, hopefully, somehow, some way, to get down this racetrack. Jim Oberhofer.
I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take. We were just looking at everything. I mean, Hillary did an awesome job pedaling the car. About 2 seconds, it broke the tires loose. So you know, the only thing I could think, I mean, it's a 140-degree racetrack, and we're probably overpowering it a little bit, so we're gonna back it down. And I had Phil Reed over here. He say, I don't want to put any pressure on you, but you need to run better than 477, 306 to take that away from the Lamatinas for the points. And I'm like, thanks, Phil. It's not going to be easy. That's going to take a miracle practically for something like that to happen. But, you know, we're excited about being in the final round. We came here for one reason, and that was to get that Scott Coletta trophy. And hopefully we can do it. I mean, the Sainty car, I mean, you know, they're not running the quickest, but they're the most consistent.
Well, the team hard at work on Terry Saintey's Skip Spire service Seco Top Fueler. Mate, going to the final against Hillary Will.
Yeah, that's going to be a really great matchup, as in Aussie versus American. You can't get much more Aussie than homemade. I think I've got the best crew here without a doubt, and we're really proud to have all Aussie stuff on board. And basically, we obviously haven't got the quicker car, but if she slips up, hopefully we can slip by.
Well, Chad Naylon and I are both asthmatics, and the nitro's just billowing out here, so we've both taken our ventil inhalers, but it is just the most awesome spectacle. And we move now to ANDRA Top Alcohol methanol-fueled machines, and this is going to be a beauty as well. Debbie Reed and Wayne Newby. Wayne Newby for JBS Industrial Quality Tools, Debbie Reed for Reed Transport. This is going to be tough.
Yeah, methanol a bit easier on the lungs, thankfully, than the old nitro stuff. It's like cutting onions. It gets into your eyes. You love it, though, deep down inside. So while these two versed each other back in spring, it was the first round of that occasion, and Newby took the win. So Debbie Reed has it up against her. These are the only two cars that really are still showing promise on this racetrack that are left in Top Alcohol.
Well, it's fair to say, Debbie Reed, regardless of this result, as beautiful shots of the JBS Tools dragster, Debbie Reed has been the standout, consistent performer in this bracket. In fact, out of all the pro categories this weekend, has just consistently got down the track for strong 5.6 and 5.7 seconders.
Yeah, Newby and Gorsey in the first round both put down the quickest time of the weekend, but they're still not at that 5.6 level that we've seen Debbie running at, and that consistency that you talk about, Dean. Oh, so important. There's son, Daniel Reed, just hanging around the pre-stage beams, bringing mum in.
And I've got to say, all these performances, touch wood, and I'm touching wood right now, are a long way away from rattling the rear wings off here in Sydney, and also spraying an oil line and flipping the car at the finish stripe. So it's been a cracking weekend. And Debbie Reed says, see you later. It was a brilliant light for Wayne Newby, but Debbie Reed again. This lady is on song, 570.
Well, how about this? We've got girls going to both finals, Harley-Davidson replay. They both picked out good NZ reaction times, Dean, but as we saw with the onboards from Newby, Deb just drove away with it.
Yeah, great shots on the Harley-Davidson replay. You see trouble for Newby. Not so much a tyre rattler this time. Other associated problems, but Debbie Reed, beautiful and strong, and most importantly, straight. As we move on to a single pass now for Rick Gorsey for City Finance.
This car looks so good on camera as we sit nice and low. Got to cruise on by into the final. He's got the whole racetrack to do what he wants with here right now. He's just got to take the staging beams, accept the green, go through to the final. Have a look at that car.
Yeah, beautifully constructed, actually, an all-Aussie car, pretty much.
I like the demister on the rear windscreen.
That's a good touch.
That's a nice touch.
Good touch, Rick. We like the humour of that.
Oh, man, that spiked out big. The shift light was on before it even got to the tree. 0.67 reaction time for NZ is okay, but I tell you what, these conditions playing havoc. Here's the Top Alcohol final. Debbie Reed for Reed Transport. Like we said, going to the final against the City Finance funny car of Rick Gorsey.
It's another Rare Spares Pit Report, and the big news is a new car in ANDRA Top Alcohol. Rick Gorsey has been in hot form. Rick, congratulations, mate. Through to the final in an ANDRA Championship round.
Yeah, racked, absolutely racked. We've been working a bit hard on the car with the single passes and a couple of passes last night. We found where we don't need to go, so we just got to change it all back now. Let's get down the track again.
Finals time for ANDRA Top Alcohol. Here as Fuchs and Shannon's present a Boxing Day spectacular, and you can see the clouds. Not so much the crowds, unfortunately. A lot of them have gone home with this horrid weather we've had the last couple of days. And this is a rain-delayed event, Chad, and guess what? The storm clouds are brewing once again. It's been tough. Let's hope we get these finals in. I'm sure we will, as we see Rick Gorsey for City Finance against Debbie Reid for Reid Transport.
Yeah, the weather is the big talking point. It is coming behind Daniel Reid as Mum is backing up the dragster. And, well, Gorsey laid down the best time of 6.10 coming into this final. In the other lane, Debbie Reid's been running those real quick 5.6s, 5.7s.
Yeah, she's been in that driver's right-hand lane throughout these elimination rounds, and why would she change? She has been very, very consistent and straight on a very hot racetrack. I'm sure these cars, though, as long as it doesn't rain, Chad, they'll be happy that the cloud has come in a bit and taken some of the heat, that bitey heat out of the racetrack, possibly.
I'll be surprised if the Top Fuel team's going to have their fingers crossed at the moment for a bit of rain. This could make it interesting. Now, Deb's only been to one final before. I was a bit unsure. I had to go ask her about it, and she told me it was the Nationals many moons ago, and she had a win on that occasion. So I suppose you could say she's got a 100% win record in finals.
Certainly does. In fact, her first round win was here at Western Sydney Dragway. So she won the AC Delco event a couple of seasons ago from memory. But certainly it was a spectacular result. And I reckon she's going to be tough to toss here, even though Rick Gorsey's had a great event. His first elimination battles officially, and he's through to a final. Revs start to build now. Gorsey is in, waiting on Deb. And, well, Rick Gorsey's handed it easily over to Debbie Reid with a red light, thanks to NZ. And check out the numbers. That was going to be tough to toss regardless.
Well, it was a red light and a good NZ reaction time anyway for Deb. But that 5.6, again into the 560s. Handshakes for the teams, but I tell you what, Debbie was never going to be beaten on that pass.
The amazing thing as we check out the Harley-Davidson replay, red light, tyre smoke for the City Finance funny car. These two and Wayne Newby are very good friends. They spent a lot of Christmas Day together celebrating, and here they are racing each other in the final for an ANDRA Championship round win, but Debbie Reid deserves it.
Winner of ANDRA Top Alcohol here today, well done.
Thank you. I was just so excited to even get in the final, and it was such a good run that it was great. Fantastic.
And with that, the Reids will be dominating the Shannon's point score for Top Alcohol. Debbie Reid now and Steve Reid, 180 points each. Wayne Newby and Brett Stevens still fill the top half. Gary Phillips, Rick Gorsey, Trent Carter still hanging around, and Stephen Ham.
You can't help but wonder if Scott Collitter somehow, some way, somewhere is shaping this event. We've been delayed for several minutes due to a rain delay. And here we are racing for the first ever Scott Collitter Memorial Trophy. Involves someone that's very close to, or was very close to Scott, and that's Jim Oberhofer, Hillary Will, and the entire Collitter Motorsport team. And they're taking on the All-Aussie entry of Terry Sainty. Let's build some more drama.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Well, if you want a better script, how about this? The last time Sainty was in a final was at this very event in 2006 against Scott Collitter. So the plot just thickens. I tell you what, usually rain is one of those things that we hate in drag racing, but what it's done is it's brought this track temperature down to something more manageable. So we might even see one of these cars get down the racetrack even for a bit.
Yeah, well, the other interesting thing, and it adds to the drama, is the KB Racing entry of Hillary, what we saw in the first qualifying session thanks to Auto 1. That car got down the track. They planned to shut off pretty much at 1,000 feet. Since then, they have not got down the track for a representative pass. Heck of a drive job in the semi-finals, though, for the NHRA star, the fastest and quickest woman in the world of motorsport.
So the ET points so far, you would have to think, will be going to Phil Lematina. 477 is that time to beat, and we heard Jim O talking about that earlier. He said it'll take a miracle to get under it.
Well, can miracles occur? Jim Oberhofer, of course, tuned the screws on Scott Collitter's 451 here a couple of seasons ago. Here's the final, ANDRA Top Fuel. Track this time with an awesome drive job. 474, the miracle has occurred. She's got the ET points.
Unbelievable drag race. Hillary Will, can this girl drive? 474, that car was all over the racetrack. Unbelievable drive job.
Harley-Davidson replay with Terry Sainty. He's had a fantastic event for Skip's Fire Service, but Hillary Will does it. And of course, the emotion. Forget about the bonus points. They're here. Look at the attitude of the car. They're here for the trophy.
Hillary wins the Scott Collitter Memorial Trophy.
What a great deal. I mean, Hillary drove her butt off. I mean, she's a great driver, and she did a great job, you know, sitting here with the rain going on and off. You know, who the heck knows what's going to happen. And I can't thank my guys enough. I mean, they worked their butts off. I mean, we've had a lot of adversity and stuff, and we did what we had to do. I told Hillary, I said, it's going to be ugly, but just get it down there.
Has it sunk in that you've got this trophy now?
Yeah, it's great. I got to thank the fans. You guys have been awesome. I was actually glad it rained today. It gave us more days at the racetrack. We just wanted the opportunity to win the first ever Scott Clitton Memorial Trophy. This is for him. We're going to proudly bring this back and give it to his dad, Connie. I know Scott was here with me today, helping me drive. We had to overcome a lot of adversity this weekend. Not only did we travel 7,000 miles to get here and bring our stuff all the way half a world away, but we just had, it seemed like everything that could go wrong went wrong just for weird reasons. We're a team and we're all about overcoming adversity, and that's what we did today.
So Shannon's point score for ANDRA Top Fuel after 4 rounds halfway through the season. Phil Lamartina is extending his points lead over Phil Reed. Martin Stamatis and Alan Dobson still up there. Darren Morgan, Darren DeFilippo, Hillary Will with the 105 points she just gained then, and Terry Sainty.
Coming up after the break, we wind back to the 4th round of the 2010 Australian Offshore Superboat Championship from Redcliffe in Queensland.